did a crush do that made you immediately lose interest? Bragged about how she was leading on a few guys so she always had a backup. Back in college I was seeing a girl casually. Whenever he texted she'd take hours to respond to any message. It wasn't a big deal, since most of the time he was just sharing or setting plans for the following weekend or something. It was a little annoying because it took a full day or two to set up plans because of the slow responses, but whatever. I'm a bad texter so I can't really judge someone for that. But I started to notice that when we hung out together, she'd immediately respond back to any and every text she got. She had some loud song as the ringtone that played for like 15 seconds, and set it so that her camera LED would flash constantly while it rang. Totally obnoxious and made me really notice how often she texted. I casually asked her who she was texting one time and it was just some friend from school that had sent her a meme. After that I realized it wasn't going to work. Being a slow texter is fine. Constantly texting while hanging out was annoying, but not a deal breaker, especially if we were just chilling at one of our houses. But the realization that this person who was glued to her phone but didn't feel like it was a priority to respond back to my texts made me feel unimportant, so I kinda just drifted away. We stayed friends because we shared the same group of friends and it wasn't awkward or anything. I just stopped trying to do things with just the two of us. He would ask me questions about myself, then cut me off in the middle of my answer to talk about himself. I was casually dating a 19-year-old guy when I was 18. He seemed totally normal until I met him at his house before a date, and his mom asked him to take the garbage out before we left. He threw a fit that would embarrass most 3-year-olds, including crying, yelling at his mom, and punching the floor. I pretended that my parents were calling and needed me to come home, blocked his number, and never saw him again. He let it slip that he was cheating on his significant other in getting together with me. Killed that crushy feeling dead. Meet a woman, thought she seemed cool. We went out to eat. She's telling me about how she fell on financial hard times and moved back in with her parents. The way she described it just sounded like she got unlucky, not that she did anything irresponsible. It happens. When the bill came I told her I'd pay. She said, "Thanks, I appreciate that. I'm trying to save my money right now." Me, "Sure, I understand. You want to get your own place again." Her, "No, actually I mean I'm trying to save up $500 for a tattoo I want to get." I've got nothing against spending money on tattoos, but when you've just spent the first day talking about the financial troubles you have, maybe now's the time to start putting money away for necessities, not tattoos. She told me her future plans to essentially become a gold digger like her mother. When I left it off, she couldn't see why I thought it was so funny. I went on 2 dates with a girl when I was in college. She was wonderful, but immediately wanted to be official and started drafting Instagram posts about us. She wanted to spend every day together and have sleepovers every night. It was so out of nowhere and we literally knew nothing about one another. I tried to look past it, but she asked me to be her first and I got uncomfortable. She seemed naive and I didn't want to take advantage. I suggested we take things slow and she took offense. I cut things off and the reaction was super childish. All of this in a 3-week period. Sweet girl, but the pacing was off. Crush comes to my house. I explain how I'm slowly remodeling it and my plans for my house. She then starts telling me I shouldn't and I should do it her way. And let her take it over and let her design, decorate and do it all. The hell I will. We were driving down the road and she threw a Starbucks cup right off the window. Gross. He talked about how he wanted to loosen up some boring family at a wedding reception, so he spiked their drinks with party drugs. A woman I was talking to was recently divorced and had moved back in with her parents. She already had a child and a couple pets and was talking about getting another pet, and her parents told her no. She chose to go ahead and get another pet anyhow, and basically her parents began pushing her out of the door. And it was a stressful situation for her, and I suggested she talk to her folks. However, once she told me she was grown up and made her own decisions and did not care about their rules, I suddenly understood and quickly lost interest. Gave me a 5-minute lecture on conditions where cheating is okay. Co-worker at work had just a beautiful energy, absolutely lovely to be around, always smiling at everyone, and she would laugh at my jokes. And she made some comments from time to time that made me feel validated and understood, which was very flattering, like she guessed my passions in life and told them to me, with a big smile while looking me in the eyes, and I'm a reserved guy who doesn't share that stuff. All just very lovely. One day we're in the break room and she's talking to another guy the same way, and I'm consciously talking myself out of being jealous. You're not dating or anything, you don't even have her cell phone number. She's allowed to be lovely with other people. Now come on, no reason to be jealous. Then when the guy leaves, she turns to the girl next to her and says, "God, I hate that guy." And I had just been jealous that she was treating him exactly like she treats me. I still feel foolish when I think about it. Like, does she like me or hate me? He started dating one of my friends after I told her I had a crush on him. She tried hooking up with every guy she knew I had a crush on. I felt like I couldn't like anyone. Edit. This was way back in 2012. We're not in bad terms, but I rarely speak to her now. I had a crush on a guy in high school who was a little bit of a rebel. Nothing serious, but definitely had a bad boy thing going on. One day in class, the teacher told him to do something minor and he flipped out. Basically had a temper tantrum and refused. Totally killed all interest by being an asshole for no reason. She generalized everyone. She was also such a bitch to everyone that she didn't understand. He plays video games? Wow, when do you think he'll move out of his mother's basement? Wow, she wears so much makeup, can you imagine what she's hiding under that face? Just such a mean-spirited person, and it completely turned me off. He would steal people's tips off the bar counter when we were at a bar together with friends. Then he would offer to buy me food with it. No thank you. My family is Jewish, and my grandfather survived the Holocaust. On the second date he told me he was a neo-Nazi, or at least on the path to becoming one. When I told him I was Jewish and also politically very left, he told me that he wanted to fuck the commie out of me. Never spoke again. I don't think this counts as immediately losing interest, for I actually needed some time to notice there were red flags all over the place. Guy and I met in college, shared hobbies and tastes in music and movies. During this particular instant, when we had just started hanging out with each other's group of friends, I briefly mentioned in front of him and a couple of mutual friends that I had googled this band he liked, and listened to some of their songs. He dead ass said that it was lame that I was trying to act like him. Skip to a few months later, he asked me out, took me on a date with his mom. Called that same night to tell me we were going too fast and that we needed to take things slowly. 2 days later, said he needed time to think things through, because he didn't want to hurt me. Found out the next day he had been dating another girl the whole time. Ghosted him for a solid 3 days before he convinced me to talk things out. He said, quote unquote, that I was the girl he was destined to marry, but he needed some experience first so that he wouldn't fuck things up with me. Ew. Played hard to get. No thanks. If you're gonna ghost me for days at a time and then get pissed off when I don't respond in 0.5 seconds, then that's not my problem.